Hey, welcome to Quack Talk.
Hello.
Episode, I lost count.
6, I think.
6? Okay. So, I want to talk about a comment we got.
Comment? Huh?
Yeah, and I'm going to guess that we know this person.
Okay.
I don't know. So, here's the comment. Let me move this screen over here. And take this over here and move this over here. Ah, there it is.
Okay, what's going on?
Ah, there it is. So the comment is, well, maybe I should just go to it. Let me go to that video. Alright. It says right here by Forest Dweller 6555. It says Paul's instruction for Ephesians is taken out of context in this example. He was directing the saints in the local church to be mindful of their tongue and avoid using hurtful talk.
Useless and hurtful.
Oh, useless hurtful talk. Okay. In this example, the wife was expressing very reasonable frustration with a situation with reaching out to her husband for support in raising the children and the maintenance of the household. The husband's response seems to have little to do with upholding the deep biblical principle and more to do with reluctance to engage and support the wife in the disciplining of the children. It is a way to avoid negative emotions and reflect reluctance to engage a meaningful dialogue about negative circumstances that are impacting her life. Nothing in the wife's attitude indicates a lack of gratitude for her blessed circumstances, but I do see the real concern for proper child rearing. This foolish and unloving attitude in the part of the husband borders on emotional abuse under the guise of husband's headship of the family. The children here need a minimum of gentle scolding for the ungracious and thoughtless action. A stern discipline may be called for if it is a repeated behavior. It is evident that the husband here is not a reliable partner in the raising of the children. You are raising boys to be men, not tending piglets. Worse, the husband is undermining the mother's authority before the children under the theory of marriage I see presented here. The mother's role to be the primary caregiver and manage the day-to-day household. The husband here is simultaneously supplanting and undermining the wife's ability to perform that role. He needs to seek guidance to better understand the father's role as a protector and provider, not to a scripture to deduct responsibility and avoid discomfort.
Ooh.
What say you, honey?
What say me? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I did comment back here. So
yeah?
I did, yeah. Let me show you my reply.
Okay.
I said, thanks for the feedback and guidance. I'll do a video responding to it. Hello. I'll show this to my wife and they shall review with you and I can understand what you are saying. It's my ignorance and not knowing and I want to support my wife as much as possible. Yes. So I am thankful for the comments to understand that point of view, and I know that you are, amazing, and I want to help, and you are important, and your feelings are important, and I know that you do things with great intentions on helping me and the family and everything, and sometimes when when you get frustrated and stuff like that, I guess, personally, I would take it as an offense that you're frustrated. And I guess that's my issue, right? Because then, when someone's mad at you, you're like, oh, man. I'm sorry, I did something wrong or whatever, and I feel like the relationship is kind of hurt because someone's mad at you. And then I kind of feel either I extend grace and try to diffuse and avoid conflict, or which is kind of like usurping, right? Or do I kind of say, hey, that's not kind of cool, let's talk about it, and I don't think what you're doing is being mad at me is not cool, because what is that? I don't think we don't have righteous anger, do we? I don't know, unless it's like someone talked about God and saying, hey, that's not, whatever. And yeah, you can have righteous anger by defending God, but if it's anger, then I don't know if that's selfish anger or whatever anger, but most likely I kind of feel from people's standpoint, like people don't naturally have anger for defending God. It's just they defend themselves. They got offended. And now they're offending other people by yelling at them, and then it's just like, well, then they start squabbling and quarreling, right? So when I feel like, even though you respond in a try to controlled way, but I can see it in your heart and attitude that you're really not happy with me, and you're kind of maybe frustrated, or in a nice way of saying that you're angry or upset at me or something. And then I feel like, okay, well, I'm sorry.
I think that frustrations, all those like quote unquote negative emotions that you want no one to feel or express, have a root issue that causes them, right? So yes, I could feel angry or frustrated because I got offended, and it could be sinful anger, but I think majority of the time, in our family at least, it's not that the person who's angry is actively sinning and they need to correct that. I think it's more of like, oh, that's a flag. It's a red flag being waved to call your attention to something that went wrong. So yes, we don't want our children, or we don't want ourselves to be blowing up in like just unbridled anger, right? That's not helpful. It's not productive. But I do think that when you see your wife or your children upset, and that they're not just like unleashing their wrath, like, but they're trying to contain that wrath, I think that it would be wiser to be like, okay, I see that you're upset. Let's talk about why. And then we can attack the actual problem, right? Because something happened before they got angry or upset or frustrated or whatever it is, right? So that's a flag saying, hey, something needs correction over here. But I wouldn't necessarily attack the resulting anger or frustration. I would be like, okay, I see that you're upset. I see that you're working on your self-control right now and not just exploding. So let's take it back and see, okay, what caused this?
Okay, so like, it's like the guy's analogy is like, I'm driving and then the gauge goes to red RPM, and you're like, hey, gauge RPM, that's not cool. But not going to the gauge, but going to the actual heat of the problem.
Right.
Where is that coming from?
Like you're about to overheat. It's not the gauge that's making it overheat. It's something else, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
And so, good tips. Good tips.
Yeah.
Good tips, yes.
Well, and going back to the previous video where we talked about the word frustrated or whatever, you had the initial response of like, oh, well, let's just not use that word. And I was saying like, well, that's not really... To me, when you block off words, that you're just limiting people's way to communicate and express themselves. You're not actually dealing with the problem. So, say, for example, Evan, right? He hulks out, right? He gets like super angry and just has a tendency to explode and lose his temper completely. And that can lead to screaming. That can lead to temper tantrums. That can lead to physically damaging or harming things, right? So we work on him having self-control in that situation. And instead of losing your cool and just exploding all over everything, let's use our communication in a more constructive way.
Yes, instead of like cussing a storm or something like that, which doesn't help in the extreme case.
Right.
Because that's like unwholesome words.
Thankfully, Evan is not there. Yeah. So that's the thing, though. Like, we don't want to be Pharisees, right? We don't want to be whitewashed tombs. We don't want to have everything on the outside look perfect and pretty, but inside we're struggling and dealing with a ton of sin, or not dealing with a ton of sin, right? So in our family, when we see our kid or our wife or spouse feeling like we can tell something's going on in there, let's go talk to them and figure out, okay, why are we feeling like that? The feeling is not wrong. God made us with a full spectrum of emotions. Feelings are fleeting. Feelings can be wrong, right? They can tell us lies because we're thinking in a wrong way about something, which can make our feelings flare up or whatever it is. Feelings are not the end-all be-all. They don't lead us to the truth. They don't tell us the truth all the time. But they are good indicators. And as far as like feeling angry, feeling depressed, feeling frustrated, those are all biblical emotions. They're in the Bible. Like, read your Psalms. They're there. Like, how many psalmists start out the psalm with like, I am in massive despair. But then they start speaking the truth in themselves through God's leading, right? That's who wrote the scriptures was God through men. So they have this negative emotion, this negative thought process, and then speak truth to themselves, and it changes their emotion so that they are able to calm down. They are able to trust in God. They are able to lean on Him instead of their own selves.
Okay. So the question is, as they do that, do you think that they would get, pro at their emotions, or would they still be in the same like level of state and like they're sensitive still, or would they have like a little more callous or strength in their emotion control?
Okay, so
I don't know.
Callous to me is not healthy.
Okay.
Because that's like, I've been hurt so many times that it just doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, not a good word. How about their experience? I
think that, yes, as we mature emotionally and spiritually, we have better self-control, right? Self-control is a fruit of the Spirit.
Okay.
So as we grow and mature, we have better control over our emotional life because we have better control over our thoughts.
Right.
But that's not to say that you never feel angry. You never feel disappointed. Okay. That I don't think is human. I don't think that's how God created us.
Right. So I agree. So I'm just trying to say that, as you have more control because of the experience of turning to God and seeking after Him and trusting in Him. So when things happen, because of your experience and your growth in sanctification and walking in righteousness, that you see not that you still have the emotions, but you would see less and less as a gauge of your walk in sanctification. Maturity.
Hopefully.
I would say.
I would say hopefully that would be the case. Yeah. But I don't.
We're not perfect. I'm sure you got punched in the face. You can be like,
dude. Yeah.
Hi. Happy. Punching you in the cheek.
No. Well, so Paul, for example, by the time it was his time to be executed, he ran to the executioner, right? He was happy to be done. He was happy, like, let's do this.
Get it over with.
Because he was happy to go see Jesus.
Yeah, let's go see Jesus, yeah.
But I don't think that when he initially got put in prison, he was like, yes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he was probably human and had anxiety or some depression or some doubts or like all those spectrum of emotions. I'm sure he wasn't just 100% of the time happy-go-lucky, like God's got this, everything's fantastic.
I agree.
But
I would say, let's say, he matured and got to the point where he was like, let's do this, this execution thing. But then let's just say, like he's there. He's matured and he's like, I'll throw you back in jail. He's like, yes, dad. Like, he wouldn't experience it like he would the first time, I would say, because he's like, enjoy, like he's suffering in joy, the kind of thing, because he knows in his maturity. And so you see in his life that he's not showing the frustrations, not like, that he, not that it's bad, but he'll show that it wouldn't be in the vocabulary, I'd say, because he's matured. Like he'll see as joy instead of being depressed and like, oh, I can't be in jail again, and he'd be like, I get to serve God again. I got to preach to these, the prisoners and whatever else, and other opportunities where is God going to lead me, and he sees it differently.
Maybe.
So I'm not saying to suppress it. I'm just saying that in his spiritual maturity, he would.
I think that even Paul, in his spiritual maturity, had times of frustration.
Yes, because he's normal. But I'm just saying that it'll, as he matures, it'll diminish to a point where it's like it's so small that it's just not even like, I don't know.
I don't even know that it's an important is that concept to discuss.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not. It's like seek after Jesus and focus on him and not on Paul's feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I answered my own question.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so when I am expressing to you that I am feeling frustrated because that's like the 5th million time today that I've had to like, that's normal, right? Like, that's not a sin necessarily to feel frustrated when you're like pushing and striving for something and it just isn't happening. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So is that something for me to help, with that walk, or is it something that you got to deal with yourself and God, and I don't know, or?
I think that it's an opportunity for a conversation between you and I, and be like, so what's going on? Why are you frustrated? And then instead of being like, oh, well, just don't feel frustrated, you could be like, okay, well, let's work on that with the boys, as far as like, let's go talk to the boys and be like, hey, what's going on here with the carpet situation? Mm-hmm. Why do you think that happened, Evan? How can we prevent that from happening in the future? That's the kind of thing.
Okay. I get you.
Yeah.
Let's go attack the source of the problem with the boys and discipling them,
training
them, and guiding them in their decision making, and and their
instruction and accountability.
And not so much of you being frustrated and talking about that.
Yeah, because when I said I was feeling frustrated about it, I wasn't like upset. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't angry or yelling or I was washing the dishes with Penelope, I think.
Okay.
And you like made a comment about the carpet and I was like, yeah, about that.
I forgot.
Yeah, I know you did. You have a short memory span.
Yeah.
Yep.
It happens when you get old.
I think that's what happens when you don't train your brain.
Yeah.
I noticed because I also can have a short memory span with certain things.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things where you're like, okay, I have to pay attention and log that in the memory bank.
Okay. Got it. So, other things.
Can I do this?
Yes, you can do that. See, you're not wearing pajamas, so we can
not wearing pajamas.
You can show more of what you're wearing.
I actually did my eye makeup tonight.
You did your eye makeup? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's good.
I got new eyeliner.
Oh.
It's a brown color.
Flashy.
I like how the brown offsets the blue of my eye. I like it very much.
Mm-hmm. I didn't spray my Hugo Boss because I didn't want to make the deer smell it.
Yeah, he went over to Ryan's house today to try and bag a deer, but no luck.
No luck. Maybe tomorrow is the last day, so we'll see what happens. We got some advanced night vision now, so
yeah,
might have another opportunity. We'll see.
You guys had a fun day today.
Went to shooting range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually got kicked out of the range.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
We went to the 50 yard and 100 yard. We shot pretty cool, and they were like, what's the pistol range? So we went to this one range that said LTC, and then it says range closed. It was kind of turned to the side, and it wasn't like blocking the road. So we're like, I guess we can go. We went in. I went and did my thing, pop, shot around the corner and all this other stuff. And then Brian went and pop, and then the guy was like, ceasefire. He's like, get that thing and take it out of here. You guys are done. And I was like, what? And they're like, you done, this is a private range. And I was like, oh, we didn't know. Sorry. I was like, started packing up, and you need to go sign up right now. And I was like, okay. So we signed up. I'm like, sorry, what was the pistol range? I don't know. He's like, it's right there over there. And it's like, you guys are welcome back, but just don't shoot targets over my barrel. It's gonna make holes in it. And
whoops.
Because like the splatter from the lead.
Uh-huh.
So we're like, okay, so like we
learning lesson learned.
Like, oh, we learned a lot today. We had fun sighting the scope with it, and I shot an AR, and then I shot the Creedmoor, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
All right.
And we had a good time talking. The drive felt like it was fast because I don't know, we were talking about politics and conspiracy theories and
your favorite topic.
marriage and life and. Yeah.
Is he doing a mentor thing too, or no?
I haven't actually asked, but I don't think he is.
Oh, okay. Because I know Daisy is.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like he's not though.
Okay. Interesting.
From the appearance of.
Okay.
Never have to go. I have a mentor in you. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you talk to him about what you were learning with your mentor?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
How'd it go for you?
It was fine. Slow start to the day, and then I was like, I gotta get laundry done today. I can go to Mom's, or I can go hang out with Daisy. And Daisy had offered to let me use her machine last night, so I was like, I'll see if Daisy actually wanted company today or not. And so I texted her if she wanted company or not, and she was like, yeah, sure, come on by. And so I packed up the kids, and we went to Daisy's. It was a fun day. I helped her clean up a little bit, and then we got to make some empanadas with deer meat.
They were good.
Yeah.
Hot sauce and everything.
We made two kinds. Daisy did one with deer meat and potatoes.
With no onions?
Yes, with no onions. We did onion powder. For Ian. And barbecues, like a couple. We used I think 2 different barbecue sauces and add a little bit of cumin and some salt and pepper kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That was yummy. And then the second one, she had some frozen quinoa from Thanksgiving that I had brought over, the quinoa salad that she had turned into another saucy thing. And so we used that to cook in the Instant Pot some deer and rice. And so that was like all mixed in together. And so we used that rice and quinoa mix with some deer meat for the second batch. And that one we added some like Tony's Creole style like seasoning stuff. And so it was a little bit more spicy than the barbecue one. But it was also pretty tasty.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had fun making the empanada dough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you learn how to make empanadas now? Or you already knew how to make empanadas?
It's just like a hand pie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you always like empanadas.
I do like empanadas.
We have to like buy it for like $5
Well, that's because you don't want to have empanadas in the house.
Because there's carbs?
Yeah. I don't mind making empanadas. They're fun and easy. You just make the mix and stick it in there. Pinch it.
Yeah.
Bake it. Delicious and wonderful.
I think I'm slimming.
Are you? You're slowing down because we're talking about empanadas?
I'm eating less carbs. Except for today because I had empanadas.
We had yummy empanadas.
And it was the weekend, so I splurged a little.
Yeah. We have community luncheon after church tomorrow.
Yes, I will be eating carbs tomorrow too.
Yes, you will be.
I will try not to though. If they have lots of meat, I'll just eat meat.
Okay. So your kidneys will be so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer just having fish and broccoli, but
yeah, well, yeah.
Red meat, I guess. Yeah.
I had thought about making. Oh, we have that like teriyaki chicken thing. I was thinking I could do that with broccoli for one dish, and then just do the pot stickers, and we could save the egg rolls for something else.
What?
Maybe we'll see. We're supposed to bring 2 dishes to church. A main dish and a side dish, or a main dish and a dessert. And I thought you would appreciate me not making dessert, so.
goes after my heart. No dessert.
No, sorry. How did it go with Penelope tonight? Reading Bible.
Yeah, so we read chapter 9 and 10.
Romans.
And Romans 9 and 10. I don't remember what we just talked about, but something about the Jewish people. God still seeks after the Jewish people, but they want to, he extended his hand out to them, and they're obstinate, disobeying, so they gave the Gentiles for now. And I'm sure he's gonna.
Did Penelope have any questions? Or
oh yeah, there's
did
one.
You have a discussion.
I did.
What you read?
It says in chapter 9 it's something about if you repent you say with your mouth that you have Jesus Christ, you will be saved, kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know the exact word for word thing. And I was like, so Penelope, how have you confessed with your mouth that Jesus Christ so that you be saved? She's like, I guess. I was like, if you, it's like, so have you? Have you, said that, or do you believe that? And it's like, yes. I said, like, I believe that Jesus, died and rose on the third day, and died for my sins. And I was like, okay, you believe that, then then you're saved too. Or you have salvation. Or what was it? Yeah.
I'm looking.
And so I was like, I was just kind of like asking leading questions, but I didn't want to like push it too much.
Yeah. I asked her on Monday last week on our way home from public speaking class. I asked her if she believed that Jesus was her Lord and Savior, or if that was just like mom and dad's stuff and like we just kept making her go to church. And she was like, no, I believe. And she gave me like the whole spiel, that Jesus died and was buried and rose again the third day according to the scriptures and all that. And so I was like, okay, well then let me know if I can help you with because I was also trying to teach her that new praying technique that Katie Treat taught me. And so I was teaching that to her, and then she was like, why? Because it's boring and blah blah blah. And so I was like, well, Penelope, I'm trying to give you a gift. And she was like, oh. Praying is a gift. And so then I was on the conversation of everything else, but yeah.
So is baptism something that she would bring up, or something we would kind of like hint on, or something, or is it she's too young for it, or something?
No, she's not too young for it, but she has to have the desire to be baptized.
She hasn't even asked, so it's like
she asked about communion, and I told her that's something you do after you've been baptized. And I asked her, do you want to get baptized? And she was like, no, because she doesn't want to go up there in front of everybody. Oh. So I figure when she's mature enough.
I'm sure we'll come across it in the scriptures and so do you know what baptism means?
She knows what it means. I've talked to her about it before. Yeah.
Just a public,
she just doesn't
public profession.
She doesn't want to be in front of the whole
She's like, I don't want to publicly profess this.
Yeah, that's scary. Don't you know? So, I don't know. Is this it?
It was like...
They're here.
Yeah, when you say it, there you go.
10:9, that if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved.
And I was like, are you? It's like, yes.
Okay. I don't know. So yeah, I've been trying to kind of give her nudges about her private, own, personal, spiritual life and her relationship with God, reading scripture, maybe work on having a desire to read scripture and having a desire to pray. And
well, she mentioned that, why didn't we read it from the beginning of Genesis all the way up? And I was like, well, I don't really know that much about this stuff. I was like, I just know because we took a class on Romans, so I can kind of explain it better. And then we're just gonna read the Gospels and just kind of power through that. And then you had a question I might answer here and there, but I was like, if anything else, ask Pastor Keith, because I don't know. So we're just gonna read the story from that, from
So you're gonna read all of Romans.
all the Romans, and then we'll go all of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and then we'll go back to Genesis. Read that maybe up to like the Pentecost, whatever. Not Pentecost. The 4 or 5 books.
The first 5 books of the Bible.
What's it called?
The Pentateuch.
Pentateuch, yeah. Pentecost, sorry, Pentateuch. And then we'll kind of go back to. Oh no, actually, I was gonna do Gospels first, and then Revelation, then Pentateuch, and then Acts, and then all the small stuff, all the small prophets. And then we'll kind of go back to.
Oh, Revelation is a hard one.
Yeah, then we'll probably skip Kings and stuff, and Numbers, whatever.
Yeah.
And then read the rest from that part, because I was like, yeah, Numbers. I don't really get anything from Numbers.
Yeah, it's a little dry.
Yeah.
Chronicles, or First and Second Samuel. First and Second Chronicles and First and Second Samuel are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do one or the other.
Yeah, I'll probably, yeah. So
it's
I'll
like the
just
history.
We're just like, oh, names. Skip page.
Okay.
Yeah.
No? Alright then.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
Okay, we have a plan.
And I write it down.
We've gone all the way through the Old Testament stories, and we're now into the New Testament stories with the boys in their toddler Bible.
Yeah.
So,
do they ask questions or anything like that? Or?
Not a lot of questions. More like, just keep reading, Mom. They want me to just like keep going.
Yeah.
Like, they would probably sit there and let me read the whole Bible in one night, because they're like, I don't want to go to bed. Yeah. And honestly, like, it's a fun book. Like, they're fully illustrated pages.
Yeah.
And,
you know, when they raise their hand, I was like, oh, you have a really Bible question? And it's like, I need to use the bathroom, or you have some water.
Yeah. I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I ask them questions to, like, check in and see, are you understanding this, or you paying attention?
Yeah. So how you liking our new structure?
I am liking it, actually. It's nice.
Do we need to add more to it, or this is kind of good for now?
I think baby steps are good. Like, now.
Like, we can handle this, then it's not so overwhelming, and then we'll kind of we'll build some experience, and then we can add a little more, and click on a little more.
Yeah.
And actually, I actually had Penelope read one time. I was like, hey, Penelope, the boys, this is their assignment. And she just read it.
Because I wasn't here. I was at Mom's doing laundry.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, well, maybe I should read something with you, and then you read something with Penelope, and then Penelope reads something with the boys. So it's kind of like discipleship.
Kind of. I think that's okay for a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe we got to start somewhere maybe too.
I think it's important, though, that you spend time with your daughter.
Yeah, that's true.
And you disciple her.
And my wife.
She spends time with me a lot.
Okay. Well, how about me spending time with you?
Well, yeah, that's important.
This is it? Or?
This is us spending time.
Yeah, this is our YouTube video, spending time with each other.
Yeah.
Sharing with the world. Well, at least we have some set aside dedicated time to do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't do this.
I have been enjoying the conversations.
Yeah. I think YouTube is keeping us accountable to spend time with each other and talk.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be like,
I'm tired. Go to bed.
Sorry.
I'm so tired.
Like, fine, do a video. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it works for us. If you guys aren't talking,
try it.
Try it. Woo! I'm sure that people talk all the time, huh? And they don't have this problem of staying busy.
I think that some people probably do more talking with their spouse than we would normally do. But then, there's the other people that are just like, let's watch TV and never communicate.
Well, I thought this extended because remember we will have serious talk in the car and driving. Like, we can't do this while we're driving, the kids yelling in the back. And I'm like, okay, so we just don't talk. And then we're like, and so we don't have serious conversations or talk at all. And then we just kind of forgot about how to talk seriously until we're on YouTube or something. So. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I don't like talking to you in the car. Yeah. It's a bad idea.
I'm just like, what? Oh, I missed the sign. Oh man.
Yeah.
I missed.
He misses turns. We can't hear each other clearly because we're both partially losing our hearing, apparently.
And then we're at different pages. We're like, I thought we were talking about.
Yeah, it's not good.
But we're on the same page now.
Hey!
Thanks,
on the same screen, we can see each other.
Thanks, YouTube.
I don't know. I like that we don't have scripts though. We just kind of pop in here and what's on your mind?
It's like a podcast. What are you gonna talk about? About whatever life. Amber's life. I don't know if people would actually want to spend this much time watching us.
Yeah.
Talk about ourselves. I don't know.
Without you in the room, just me by myself? No, that would be terrible.
No, what?
What do you mean?
What do you think people find as entertaining to watch?
I don't know. I'm sure we could probably spice it up a little bit more. Like, bring in some more interesting topics.
Yeah, maybe we should, like, brainstorm interesting things to talk about. And then talk about it. Like, maybe trending topics or something. Like,
yeah.
Like, we're not in a newsroom or anything like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the weather.
No.
The upcoming storm.
We could talk about weather when it's interesting, but right now it's not interesting. It's just warm.
It was frosty this morning. I had to use. I didn't have anything to scrape with. I was trying to use a postcard to scrape the ice off.
A postcard?
Yeah, the Mercedes recall card that says.
It's terrible. You should probably take the Mercedes in for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Credit card from your wallet would work better.
So I was like, which credit card do you want to ruin? I was like, Chase.
Oh yeah.
They replace it fast. And I keep my same number, so.
Okay, I would have probably gone for like AAA because you don't have to swipe that through anything.
I actually didn't carry my AAA card, and then my phone broke, so I bought myself the same case. It was a good case, so I was like,
you're just rough on stuff.
I think I just packed too many cards in there, and this.
I think that you should apply for a job to be a tester of products.
I'm gonna do my own tester of products channel.
Durability test.
I'm gonna call it the Quack Factor. The Quack Survivability Test.
He is really rough on stuff. You break things all the time.
Yeah, but it survived 1 year. Maybe, almost.
Somewhere close to a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys, for staying to.
If you're still here, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to us. And if you have any suggestions or our next topic?
Maybe we should start our next video
comment
with like a hey. Drop a suggestion in the comments.
Yeah, because
topic suggestions.
From our statistics, people will probably watch only 5 minutes, and
we're boring.
Here we are.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right, Quack Talk out. Bye.
Bye.